get this money from? Money. Money. Money.
Ovation family, what is up? How's everybody doing today? It's me, Brandon, your friend and neighbor, your host, back with another video from Innovation Property in Atlanta. Here talking about this Turo car game, private rental car game, side hustles, and ways we all can save money together. Today's reaction video is coming from a YouTuber by the name of Anisha. I believe she's over in the UK, and she does financial literacy and talks about her past and how to save money, how to invest. I believe she has a former investment banking background. But before we jump into today's reaction video, guys, remember to like my video as always. You guys don't mind. Show me some love in the comments section by leaving questions, feedback so we can banter. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you guys are up to date when I post new videos and alerted when I drop out new videos. And then we will go from there. So like I mentioned, her name is Nisha. Today's reaction video is going to be around why she quit her 9-to-5. I think to do YouTube full time, but I'll let her break it down. And as always, I'll give my opinion, my 2 cents, and then we will go from there. So let me go ahead and pull the video up, and let's go ahead and see what Nisha had to do to quit her 9-to-5.
To resign, letting go of a 6-figure bonus, a 6-figure sign-on that's due to be paid to me in March. I've just sent my manager, I'm shaking. I've just sent my manager a
No need to shake, no need to
message to have a chat this morning. So let's see how it goes. I spent the last 9 years climbing the corporate ladder, getting promoted, taking on more responsibilities, asking for pay rises, negotiating bigger bonuses. I decided to walk away. I decided to leave investment banking for good. And to date, it was the hardest decision I've ever had to make. And making it just 2 months before receiving what would have been the largest bonus of my career probably makes it seem like I had lost my mind to anyone on the outside. The truth is that even I didn't know if I was making the right decision or if everything would turn out okay. But what I did know is that if I didn't take the chance, I would live to regret it. As Obama famously said, you don't have to be 100% certain to make a decision. Gather all the ideas, the information, gather all the perspectives to get you to 51%. And once you reach that point, make the decision and find peace in the fact that your choice was based on the information that you had at that time. Hopefully, by sharing with you what got me to the 51%, it will give you the courage to maybe do the same. Throughout the 9 years I spent in banking.
Well, first and foremost, guys, you got to give her a round of applause for having the gall and the bravery to quit her job, especially at that kind of money, which those jobs aren't easy to get, especially in investment banking. So, Nisha, congrats. Salute to you for having the courage to be able to quit your job and follow your dreams and your passions and things that you want to, get accomplished and what your purpose is. Because reality is you can always go back and find another corporate job or investment job. Won't be easy, but you can always go back. Doing what you're doing now, you're definitely adding more value. I believe Nisha has about 800,000 subscribers on YouTube. So she has a big family of supporters. So, I think she made the right decision. But again, let's jump back into hearing her complete story.
Banking, there were a handful of people who I really enjoyed working with. And one of those people was a woman who worked in the same team as me. She had been doing the job for nearly 20 years. She loved what she did, and she kind of took on this mentorship role with me. She told me how things were done. She sat the ticks. And then about 7 months after I joined the bank, one evening in the office, her phone rang. She picked it up, put the phone down, and walked away from her desk. And as soon as she left, my manager called me into another room. He told me I had just been promoted and then explained the details of my new position. I told him that it sounded very similar to her role and that we're now covering the exact same clients. So what's the difference? And he clarified that she was with HR and had just been let go. at a time where I should have been celebrating, I just got promoted, I found myself in a situation that was completely the polar opposite, and it changed my whole perspective on professional life. I learned that the company you work for ultimately doesn't owe you anything but a paycheck. And in this particular instance, yes, great, I was on the fortunate side. But next year, the tables could turn, and who's to say I won't be on the other side? They say you're only as good as the hours you can dedicate when you're working for someone else, and the amount that you earn is directly tied to your time. But the issue is that even your time isn't in your control. And I realized that I can never truly be financially independent and financially free so long as I'm letting someone else have more control over my financial life than I do. The first few years of working in a corporate, they were fun. They were intellectually stimulating. I was learning a lot. I felt like I was in this real growth phase. And then after that, things seemed to plateau. It wasn't exciting anymore. I wasn't feeling challenged, and I felt misaligned. And that feeling of misalignment, it kept getting bigger and really started to take a toll on my mental health. So I decided to sign up for therapy sessions. And in my second session, my therapist told me that I need a life coach. And I remember thinking, what on earth? How do I even go about this? What's a life coach going to do? Let me just try and figure this out on my own. And so I went home and I spent the next few days alone. I didn't do anything else but really understand why I was feeling a certain way, why I was feeling misaligned, what I wanted to get out of life, and why I was feeling at the time really caged up. And during those days, I realized I had absolutely no interest in helping CEOs of large companies or working on billion-dollar transactions. And the only reason why I was doing it was firstly, the paycheck. And secondly, the social status. I hate to admit it, but I'll be lying if I said that didn't play a massive part. I was living life solely based on society's expectations. I believed that I should be grateful for having a somewhat prestigious job and earning a good salary because that's what most people desire. But it's not what I desired. My why is to inspire and motivate people to take control of their finances and ultimately their lives through sharing my knowledge of money and my perspective of money. That's what success meant and means for me. That's what I do through my YouTube channel, through my courses, through my free workshops. And what I can tell you now is when you get clear on what you want and what you want to do, and you live and breathe there, and you become so obsessed with doing that thing, nothing else matters. Whilst that 6-figure bonus, which I'll talk about more in a second, was incredibly hard to walk away from, I had got to a point where no amount of additional money would be able to keep me away from living my why. From the outside, every single person I spoke to told me I should reconsider what I'm about to do. And every single person told me to stay for a little bit longer so that I could at least get paid. But at this point, bigger meaning took over. Yes, I could go back and cave in and get that bonus, but that would be an excuse for me to stay for another year and keep getting paid to live someone else's vision rather than working on my own. When it comes to major life decisions, everyone will offer their opinions, usually with the best of intentions and based on their own experience. But if you can find time for solitude and introspection, and you can stop letting other people's opinions dictate your choices, that's when things really start falling into place. Maybe your meaning and your purpose is within your day job and you don't believe the common notion that everyone should quit. Or you might feel the exact opposite. Regardless, just make sure that that decision is yours and not driven by society. For a lot of people on social media, following your why is enough to quit your job. But if you've watched my other videos, you full well know I've never endorsed that idea on this platform. I've expressed frustration towards anything or anyone promoting the notion of leaving your job to just follow your why, implying that hard work alone will fix everything and sort everything else out. It takes a specific type of person to take that level of risk, and that person isn't me. And that's precisely why the 2 major factors I mentioned earlier weren't enough to tip the scale, because let's be honest, bills exist, mortgage or rent payments exist, responsibilities exist. That's just a part of life. And that is why I wasn't able to leave sooner than I did. I stayed in banking for longer than I wanted to because my salary was paying for me to build up an emergency fund. It was paying for all of my investments, my stocks and shares, property. It was paying for all the payments I was doing on my side hustles. And Yes, I took a huge pay cut at the time that I resigned. It was an 84% pay cut, but I was also in a very fortunate position that I had enough of an emergency fund to last me 9 months in case something didn't work out. And it was only when my side hustles had matched my fixed costs plus an additional 200 or 300 pounds more a month was I comfortable in taking that risk. I'm 30, we don't have kids, and I knew that I'll be a lot happier doing something that I truly love whilst giving back in some way. And B, I'll still be able to make money from it in a way that's not tied to me trading my time. Like having an impact on other people and getting paid whilst I'm doing it. There's nothing better than that. The reason why this video makes me smile is because it was the happiest I had been in a very long time. I finally felt aligned and like I was getting paid to do something that I loved. What I didn't know as I was recording that was that I'll be in a position where I am now, which is what I make is astronomically higher than what I used to make in banking. I just did what I loved. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. I became so obsessed with my bigger meaning that I didn't have time to think about what anyone else thought. I took the risk and I hoped that the remaining 49% would somehow unfold. At the end of the day, this is my journey. This is the path that I've decided to take and the things that I did to get there. It may not be the right path for everyone, but hopefully by sharing some of this, it will give you the inspiration and to do the thing that you've been putting off for so long.
Kudos, Anisha. Round of applause, everybody. So the reason video is intriguing to me is a couple of things. So as you guys follow me on my journey, my Turo journey, I also work in corporate America too. So I understand having to do double roles and wear multiple hats. When you talk about being able to have a job and try to balance out having a YouTube channel and trying to, create courses and stuff for people, this stuff takes time. So Nisha was in a position where she had emergency, she had money saved, put it aside. She made a decision of what's more important to her and her journey, her life, her purpose, and that was educate you guys on finances versus being in a corporate job, following somebody else's goals and strategy and being at a desk all day. So again, round of applause to Nisha. So I'm not saying for you guys to quit your job tomorrow and go pursue your passions or your goals. I'm saying you have to be strategic, come up with a game plan, and it can be done. So for her, it was save money. It was, coming up with a game plan as far as her YouTube channel, her own personal goals. And then she went from there. So and then she used the Obama strategy about the 51%. And that played into her favor where she's able to, her YouTube money was able to overcome her 9-to-5 money and make more doing her side hustle or her YouTube channel. So in her situation, it worked. It's not gonna always work for everybody. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. When I do Turo things, some months are great in Turo, some months aren't so great. And I gotta, go to the savings account to pay for expenses. So part of running a business, part of following your passion, part of your journey, but you guys can do it too. That's the overall message. So thanks for watching today's reaction video. Stay tuned for the next video, and then you guys have a good rest of your day.